And says he wants to refinance, but he's concerned the house won't pass an appraisal inspection. I said, okay, why are you concerned about that? He goes, well, I'm doing some work on the house and there's a lot of things going on. I was like, okay. I was like, do you live in the house? He goes, yeah, I live in the house. I said, is it functional? He goes, yeah, it's functional. It's great. I said, well, the appraiser's going to come out there. He's going to look for like stuff. He's going to look for health and safety issues. If you have exposed wires, mold, or water coming in the house, it's going to be an issue. But if it's old and even dirty, it's going to be fine because that's fine for a conventional appraisal, which is what you're doing. Because, well, I do have exposed wires, but there's no power coming through the wires. It's like, you have the power shut off where the wires are exposed? He goes, no, I just have the power shut off in the entire house. I was like, well, you got to have power in the house. I said, what happens if you turn on the power? He goes, oh, I would never do that. I was like, you can't turn the power on? He goes, no. I said, are the bathrooms working? He goes, one's working, one doesn't work. He goes, the other one's torn apart. I was like, okay, so you have one functional bathroom? He goes, yeah. I was like, what about the kitchen? He goes, well, the kitchen's torn apart. I said, well, how are you cooking? He goes, I use this propane stove and that's how I'm cooking. I was like, so your house has no power, you're using a propane stove, and you have one functional bathroom in the house, and that does work. He goes, yeah. I said, well, the house has to be livable. You've got to do enough work on this house so that an appraiser can come in there and feel that it's a livable, functional house. He said, but I just don't know what the minimum standard is. I said, well, are you married? He goes, no, I'm not married. I was like, do you have a girlfriend? He goes, no, I don't have a girlfriend. I was like, do you ever have friends and their wives and their girlfriends come over? He goes, well, no, one of my friends, or definitely their girlfriends and wives would not want to come over here. I was like, huh, I can imagine. No power, no kitchen, one bathroom. I was like, okay, so here's the deal. When you think that house is girlfriend ready, then it's ready for an appraisal. That's what you got to shoot for, girlfriend ready. And he starts to laugh, and I start to laugh. But at the end of the day, if you can't get some friend that's a girl or some woman to come over to the house because the house is scary, that's not going to pass an appraisal.